I think second episode was such a shocker. It was such a scary thing to see the baby morph, and it was when the legs went over the side of the crib. I was like, no, that's just wrong, because you're expecting a baby, and the growth rate is surprising. I think people are a little uncomfortable by A, the priest's outfit, and B, the creeper van, which made it kind of interesting.
Do you feel like he's creating not only a spoiled little girl, but a spoiled little monster?
Well, it depends on what your concept of the darkness is, really. I mean, I'm creating a monster, or is it a monster that I'm attempting to control? I mean, that's really the question.
Do you think that he could actually control her?
Crowley probably thinks he can. I would think that Crowley thinks he can do anything, as has been seen before. And if it doesn't work out well, that will have been part of the plan anyway. That's sort of the way Crowley does things.
What would be the best case scenario for him?
Crowley? Yeah. Everybody just do exactly what Crowley says. Get on with it, and we'll have a much easier life.
Including Amara?
Of course. Don't you agree?
I mean, if we can have an episode about the car, we can have an episode about that.
I thought all episodes were about that. If you really think about it. I think season 11 is fascinating. It's a great opening. I mean, first three now, really, really good. I thought Jensen did a great job. Very informational episode, I think the third episode was, but it still had its action in it. Really well done. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, Rowena is always a
Who? Never heard of her.
I know. She has no affection at all for Crowley. Given I mean, it's a complicated relationship at best. Given Crowley's current relationship with the darkness and Amara, how might he be kind of utilizing that weapon against his mother?
In any way he probably can, I think. I think Crowley is always under the belief that he has control over it, even if things are difficult. But he always believes that he has a purpose and a direction to what it is that he's doing. So, and it's always for the betterment and furtherment of Crowley, which he does believe that everybody else would be a lot happier too if they just did what made Crowley happy. But it could be quite a fun way to go. I feel that way personally about most things in life as well. Having children, it's the same thing. So if you just did what I wanted you to do, life would be like that. Doesn't usually work out that way.
I mean, what are you enjoying about playing Crowley in season 11?
I got a much nicer trailer.
So you have
with
a
an
trailer
indoor
now.
toilet. I have a trailer with an indoor toilet. It's an extraordinary place to go to work. A lot of these people have been on the show since the beginning. So to go to a place of work where people know each other so well, and we're doing, kind of high intensity, high stress job. There's never quite enough time. There's never quite enough money to get what it is that you want to get and how you want it to be. And one does one's best, one endeavours to make the best possible thing that one can make. And when you realise that there's so many people who have been together such a long amount of time that are all trying to do that, it's just a fantastic place to go to work. So every time I show up here, there's a lot of gratitude for how work is done here. Jensen and I were talking to somebody at the network the other day, saying just the intelligence level in every department is extraordinary, because everyone has to be able to think on their feet, and everybody has to be able to execute these incredibly complicated things to do to create this television show and give you the best possible product, or give the best possible product to the people who then in post have to take it and make it what it is. It's a hell of a team, and I think the most fun I have about season 11 is that there's a season 11, that there is in fact a season 11, which is just a magical, wonderful thing, and doesn't happen a lot. I mean, I've been on since season 5, so this is my 7th season. I came in as a guest star, maybe do a couple of shows. It's so much fun. I love it.
Last year there was some really fun Crowley and Dean dynamics. I mean, obviously
The
they've.
bromance.
We can call it a bromance for sure.
I call it a bromance.
Yes,
I don't think you
yes.
do.
I'd say every individual person might vary, but if you are comfortable with that, that's fantastic. Given that dynamic, are you kind of hoping to see some more of that in season 11, even though the state that Dean is in is completely different, or do you kind of feel like that time has come and gone?
Look, it ain't over till I say it's over. That's the way it goes. I don't know that the dynamic will never be the same. I mean, there seems to be a season of the brothers paying for the choices that they made, as Jeremy put very well. And, you know, there are consequences to everything now. Is Crowley a benevolent being or a malevolent being? And that's the question you're always going to ask. I think Crowley's always out for Crowley. And it just depends on what the nature of the problem is as to who your allies are, I think. It's the best way of answering it.
With the baby episode coming up, do you have any favorite scenes from the series with the car?
From the whole series?
Yeah, just any favorite
Um,
scene.
The few times that I've been in the car that Jensen's been driving, I have, you know, definitely some soiled underwear moments. 67 was not a year of in-car safety, let's put it that way. He's a very good driver, but it's been a little hairy at times. I drive fast, but he drives that thing fast very well. The Kane, first Kane episode, he reverses out of that farm. We missed that post by probably about 1/8 of an inch.
Oh.
And he was like, yep, that was close. Great driver.
First of all, great impression.
That was
I live with the man on an almost constant basis. Yep. They're great. I mean, that's the thing about the show, isn't it? 11 seasons and we're still interested in the Winchester brothers. I mean, I think it's fascinating. There's so many shows, not to be disingenuous to anybody's work, but there's so many shows that you're going, really? Can we really go through this again? And, you know, procedurals have a huge problem with burning out. You know, it's like you have to rotate your cast out. And this has just been, it's got more fun as it's gone along, I think. There's definitely there's a humour level that's very different. And there's been some wonderful additions. There's some guest cast from this season coming who are just brilliant, who I've seen. Not necessarily episodes that I'm in, but some really interesting characters popping up. I think it's brilliant. I think it's wonderful that we're still interested, and you guys are still interested 11 years in. I think it would show. I think if Jensen and Jared were not interested and Misha wasn't interested, it would definitely show. Be a lot more damaging to the show. They love it and they love doing it, and we have so much fun. But, hell. Yeah, hell. It's hell. It's hell in there.
I mean, how was Jensen as a director this season?
He's really good. Always good. He's a natural. He's a remarkably prepared. He's got the right brain for it. You need a certain intellect as well as feel, but you need a certain amount of smarts to be able to do it. Spade directed an episode this year, which is fantastic. I'm so excited for him. He's another person that was just fabulously smart and witty. Cruz, you know, I hope I get to do one at some point. I'd love to do one maybe next year. But it's a group of people you can definitely lean on. But it's vicious. It's truly vicious. I think what was Jared making fun of me the other day? If you want a scene to go really slowly, put 2 Europeans in it.
Oh.
So just speak so slow. I think that was his big thing. So he's been riding me for that for a while. The moose.
So if you were to direct one, what would be your dream episode? What would you like to
Well,
include?
that's the first thing that you learn about directing in television is you never get to choose. Once you get the slot, you don't get to choose the script. You get the script. It's a crapshoot in the truest sense. And a great script is a great script, you know. Luckily, there's been a lot of them. But it's I'll take anything.
Would you want to act in the episode as well, or just direct? Focus on that.
I've done both when directing film. It's a little harder, but Jensen did a great job. Mm-hmm. Action Ackles. I think it was great. Yeah, it's fun. It's something I love doing. I truly, truly love doing. It's a lot of work. You got to prep. You got to be ready for it. You know, you got a lot of people whose who are relying on you to make good decisions. If you're really smart, you defer to the people who know what they're doing.
I mean, as you mentioned, you came into the show a good amount of time ago, and
You call me old?
No.
Oh,
Seasoned. You are seasoned.
Seasoned like a table.
Well, but I mean, the fans have embraced Crowley in a way that's kind of remarkable, into the point that you got
Probably time to kill me off then, isn't it?
No. Let's keep you alive for at least as long as you'd like to be on the show.
To the 300th episode?
Why not?
That would be good,
There's
wouldn't it?
another cake on the way, I imagine, for that.
That would be pretty fun.
But you even got like a little pop doll after, for the Funko dolls.
I have 5 Funko dolls.
Do you actually have all of them?
Yeah, of course. Funko were nice enough to send them to us, but I have 5 different ones. And there's a really interesting story about the Funkos. If you know that the special edition one has red eyes,
right?
And I had never had red eyes on the show, and I kept protesting continuously that I'm never going to have red eyes on the show, and it was something we kept for a while. Then Jeremy last season said it was really important. There was a point with Sam, with the fight with Sam, is that you saw that Crowley is now returning to the Crowley that we know, and it would be really, really good to do the red eyes. But we did, Mark Malash and his team did red eyes, but with the smoke, which was just fascinating to look at. I love that stuff. And the cherry pie filling.
Did Crowley always have the red smoke? Was it always?
Red
because
smoke
in the first episode,
red smoke came in with Mrs. Tran. That was the first time that we saw the red smoke, and that was a way of transferring Crowley out and Crowley back. But red smoke is not red eyes. Red eyes is Crossroads Demon in the canon, and the red eyes was never done. And Funko made a red-eyed Crowley before I'd ever had red eyes, and then within 4 weeks I had red eyes, which was really funny. I was like, so Funko are the predictors of the next show. So if you see a Funko doll with anything strange on it, look out.
So because of the fan reaction, I mean, have you noticed a different reaction to you like now versus when you came on, or was it always kind of this vocally passionate about Crowley in your experience?
No, the fans are amazing. I mean, fan is a strange universal word for a very large group of people that comprises very different groups and individuals. It's a very complex.
Last question.
It's a complex thing. I think a lot of really negative things are said about fans. Something I actually want to talk about specifically. I think the word fanatic, as a word, fanatic, is a negative word. It's a hugely negative word. It's always treated with derision. And I think we've always looked at, if you look at the early days of the concept of Trekkies and the argument between Trekkies and Trekkers, it's even funnier. But I've been part of fandoms, and fandoms was a generic way of putting people down, saying what it is that they're doing is somehow worthy of derision, and it's not. It is, in my opinion, in my experience, I should say, the collective work done by supernatural fans in the name of whatever charities or circumstances or situations that the boys, Misha, or any of us have put forward is unbelievable. The fact that people have used their common love of something, their passion and their heart and their love of something, to do so many positive things is mind-blowing to me. And I go to a convention today, and the first question I will ask when I come outside after being mean and miserable to everybody that's out there, which is my want, is to say how many of you are new, and the hands go up, and you are seeing over several thousand people. You're seeing 1,000 people put their hand up, or a large percentage of new people. And this is the Netflix generation. This is the people that sought us out and chose us. They didn't just happen to be watching a television channel and we happened to be on. They sought us out and watched us, and that is a remarkable thing to which we are so grateful and so awed by. I mean, I'm just fascinated by how much love and how much passion comes from the fan side of it, the fan side in a loose term. But a lot of people have used this new concept of fandom, as we would now put it, as a major driving force. I know our network and our studio are very proud of our fans, very proud of our fans and what our fans do, and we do everything we can to include them in whatever is possible to include them in. And they are now a massive driving force for television, for movies, and as a voice for story. If it ain't good, they don't follow it. It's not a generic thing anymore. And I wish there was a better word. I really do wish there was a better word than fanatic, which is what it really comes from.
Well, Supernatural calls it family, right?
Yeah, family is everything. It's SPN families. It feels so personal, and I mean, I'm shocked. I did a little thing for diabetes camp called Camp Conrad Chinook, which is an amazing place, and did a T-shirt, and raised a bunch of money, sent money to Camp Conrad Chinook, massive. A fan went on their website, looked at what was required on their wish list, not only bought everything on their wish list, but paid to have it all shipped. I mean, people do things, and it's not to impress us, it's just part of this sort of movement. I love it. I'm overawed by it. I'm humbled by it as well. And they seem to be growing, and as long as they keep growing, I guess we'll get to keep making this show. Thank you.
Cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.